I know you lot listening might scoff, but I quite fancy myself like this, just leaning on the gate, watching the world go by. There's a distinct lack of cows in this field, though, Rich. That's planned, presumably. Is it there elsewhere?
Like, you lean on the gate, that's you coming out from Bristol, isn't it? I think you think all farmers do
that. Give me a bit of corn to suck on. Why aren't you doing that?
Oh, well,
You're in like a sort of modern fleece and trendy jeans.
Dressed up for radio.
Look, I remember them. You were surprised, weren't you?
I thought they'd be pink.
Very metrosexual, that's what you thought, wasn't it?
Well, no, it's good of you to come out, Ben, and have a little look, isn't it? And we can just have a chat about what we're doing here. I mean, if we take this field, for example, here, I mean, what do you think of that? What do you think of that field?
First of all, I think it's the size of a football pitch with a bit of room to spare. What are we talking about there? How many?
About 2 acres if you want to talk farming. Metric hectares, I'm not quite sure. I like to stay old-fashioned, really. But if we look at here, we got
2 trees.
We got 2 trees, but that, believe it or not, is an orchard, or was an orchard.
So
and
where did all the rest go?
Well,
diseased, chopped down?
Old age, really, mate. Just like both of us getting on a bit, and then you start feeling your age, and you're gone. But what we got here is we've got 2 cider perry trees left. They usually sort of outlive the apple trees. And this was a proper orchard up until probably 20 years ago, and then they got old and they started falling over. Wind brought them down, and we've got 2 left. But what's really, really nice is, and I'm really pleased to do, is we're going to be replanting that orchard in November, and I'm putting traditional fruit trees back there, and every tree will be different. There won't be one tree the same there, and we've got some. We've got Arlington Schoolboy, I think, is one of them. We've got one called Beauty of Bath, and we've got one, I don't really better bleep this or not, called Hen's Turd. I'm not quite sure how we got.
No, I think we can get away with a turd.
Get that,
don't get any more vulgar, Richard.
That's
but
I think
we'll do turd. Peas good non-such as well. That's a nice name for an apple. I learned at Horfield
Orchard. I haven't seen one of those.
Because you were interested in that, weren't you? When we emailed, you said, let me know how they're getting on in Horfield, because that's what I want to do is a community orchard.
Well, this is it. Well, what I'm doing here, okay, it's not so much of a community orchard, but it is going to be a lovely family day. What I'm doing is I'm going to plant each tree. Well, I'm giving each tree to one of my friends' family. So basically what happens is, as we plant a tree, each family will have their tree with their kids. They'll plant the tree. I'm going to do a little map so I know which tree is which and which family's got which tree on the field. And I'm getting each kid to put a time capsule in when we plant it. And so hopefully the idea is that as these trees grow, well, we're going to take photographs of us stood next to these trees when we plant them. And you can imagine at the moment, most people's kids are probably about 5 or 6, they're roughly that age. And the adults are getting on a bit. Well,
it's all Peppa Pig wellies about the moment.
Exactly. My son's into his Thomas the Tank Engine and all that. But what we're going to do is the pitch is going to be great because the kids are young and the adults are still stood upright and looking great. We can recreate this again in 10, 20, 30 years' time when they come back and see how their tree is doing. The trees will be 30 foot high or whatever. The parents will be bent over their bad backs and the kids will be towering above them, I'm sure. So it's the idea is that I think, get everyone involved with the countryside, not just about me farming it, but about people having a little bit of a, piece of it, if you like.
There is this disconnect, isn't there?
Yeah.
Let's face it. I got quite nervous coming up here, Richard.
Probably the Rottweilers that didn't help, exactly, and me armed with my shotgun.
And the security guards out there, they look fearsome. But, it's nice to get out, listen to it. I mean, you've got a bit of a hum, I suppose, of the M5, whichever way it is, but listen to that. Because you know Bristol well, don't you?
I know it a little bit, yeah. I've been out and about in Bristol.
You wouldn't ever move back?
Bristol. God, well, I never really lived there. My wife had a flat there in Cottam, and we used to go. Did love it. I must admit, Bristol's a lovely place, isn't it? It's got so much going for it. But as you get older, I think you sort of suddenly start appreciating other things other than just maybe a bar or whatever. Certainly won't be in a nightclub anymore.
Dear. Whatever was the appeal?
Well, good question, wasn't it? Hoping to find a missus, wasn't it, I think?
That's it. That's the only reason to drink that quantity of beer, isn't it? Whose swing is that?
Oh, that's one that I put up there years ago. I mind you, the tree's getting a bit doddery now. I think if we jump on that, Ben, the tree might come down.
It's not in the best of health, is it?
No, but I mean, can imagine what it's going to be like here in it's about a month's time.
Did this feature in your book? We've done well not to mention the book for the first 5 minutes of the interview, but you very graciously asked if you could mention it at all. Of course you can. That's the whole reason we met each other, because you were on the radio, and it's been great, hasn't it?
Oh, life's funny, isn't it? Because you don't always know where it's going to go, and I never intended to have a book out. I just did pictures of the farm, a year on our own farm. Started taking pictures last January with a little pocket camera, and ended up doing a one-off for Mum and Dad. That's gone on from there. I ended up getting a publishing deal on it, to cut a long story short. It's come out, a year on a dairy farm. Seems to be doing quite well. I think the Daily Mail are doing a piece on it soon, and it's been on Points West and been on your show, mate.
Of course.
And it's just this is just another exciting thing. What
book
life's
signings
about.
in Thornbury High Street.
Book signings. Yeah, we did 45 copies that day, which is quite surprising.
What do people ask you?
Hello, who are you? It's amazing how many people have got a connection with a farm, either from their grandparents or they went and played on them when they were kids. And that was what was really nice, actually. I was, when I came into Radio Bristol a while back, I was talking to one of the DJs there, and it turns out his mum lives near a farm and he used to go and play on a farm when he was a...
News presenters, please, Richard.
Oh, sorry.
We're not all DJs.
I don't know. What
if
do you
we were
call
DJs,
yourself?
we wouldn't be doing this recording because I'd just be there spinning the wheels,
I don't know what to call you. A presenter, DJ?
Yeah.
You've got multiple names, haven't you?
Call me what you want. Let's walk over here. I saw a few cows on the way up, all lying down. Do you get a bit sick of all those old wives' tales about, if cows are doing this, if sheep are doing that? Are they all true with the weather?
Yeah, do you know what? They say that about cows sitting down and stuff. I think it's just because they're tired, actually. I don't know whether they always sit there. Here we go. Here's a mother with whose calf's down here. We'll just go through this gate and have a little look. And we'll take you out to an orchard we planted 10 years ago, which is... You've hit the right time because I'm sure I can get you some apples and pears.
Oh, lovely. Well, you know me for a freebie.
Well, you get your wellies on. This is proper muck now. Look.
So 100 and... How many years has this farm been in your family?
Stop here a minute. This is perfect timing, actually. We've been farming here since about 1840. It's give or take, okay? But the first indication that there is a definite date on this farm of our family is that little stone up there on that
diamond-shaped stone, yeah.
And it's a bit eroded now, but you see it says JPC AD 1858, that is. And that's James Pullen Cornock, 1858, which is, I think, my great-great-great-grandfather or something like that. And the interesting thing is that the Pullen, is a middle name that we've kept in our family all through that time. And my middle name is now Pullen, and my son Jack, we christened him Jack Pullen Cornock. So it's, a farm like this is very much about tradition and, keeping it sort of together as a proper unit. The Pullen family are still in this area as well. I think there's a family connection there. I think the James Pullen is through the family marrying into the Pullen family sort of thing, because the Pullens actually had this farm before us, and you can't see it very well, but if you see that other shed up there, can you see the little diamond above the archway there?
It's the same one, yeah.
Well, that actually says James Pullen on it, 1791.
That's original.
Yeah, we don't take things down and put them back up.
Well,
We're not a museum. Although I think I should be in one sometimes.
You're not all that.
No.
All that yet. This one's very relaxed.
Oh, well, come and have a look at this then, Ben. You'd be chilled out if you just had a baby calf, wouldn't you?
That's true.
Here we go. We won't disturb them too much. But if we look in...
How you recovering, dear? All right?
She had this... Well, she had a calf about 5 days ago, and there she is there. Look, that's her calf there, the black and white one down there. And if we just step inside, there's two more sat down there, look. And that is... The black and white one's a British Friesian, and the one at the back there, the black one, is an Aberdeen Angus. And so that's the mum of that one, chilled out there, look, sort of thing.
Now, this is it, cutesy, but this is life, isn't it? And you mentioned Aberdeen Angus. Most people in Bristol listen to this.
I was going to say,
fat bellies are thinking burger bars, aren't they?
Burger King, aren't you? They do an Aberdeen Angus special down there. Very nice it is too. Well, actually, that is exactly probably what that'll end up being. The Aberdeen Angus is a beef breed, and we don't actually rear beef cattle here, but we sell them to a chap not very far from here. He'll then rear them on, and that'll either go to sort of someone like one of the supermarkets or burger chain or something, because they are specially sort of bred, if you like, for that reason. The black and white one there is a dairy breed, and that will be for the milk. It's we do British Friesians here. If you drive around the countryside and you see a lot of black and white cows, a lot of the times they're a thing called Friesian Holstein, which is a kind of hybrid sort of dairy cow which produces a lot of milk. And there's also a British Friesian, which is of a sort of similar, looks very similar, but isn't quite so highly bred, which is what we have. They don't need so much sort of feed and everything. They don't produce as much milk, but they're kind of quite a sort of easy animal to look after, if you like. And there they are, there, look, mother and daughter.
Now, when I was at uni at Sheffield, a very good friend of mine, her dad up in Cumbria, was in charge of the cow passports.
Right, you know a little bit about that.
Well,
then.
That's all I know.
I tell you
I'm
what,
sure you can take me on. Is it bureaucracy gone mad with cow passports?
I tell you, Ben, it's difficult getting a cow in a passport booth to get their pictures taken.
Well, it's difficult with a 2-year-old, isn't it?
Yeah,
you
try and get a cow through a gap to get a picture.
Come on, love, shove it in.
Yeah. No, to be honest, they do actually. You see, well, this is very good actually. You're just right in the right place at the right time. You can see the yellow tag on the calf's ear.
Yep.
We only put that in about 5 minutes before you got here, actually. But that tag is an individual identity number for that
Was it
calf.
a 5-digit number or more? I can't see because it was fur.
Yeah, 6-digit, I think. And it also has our individual herd number on it. So every farm's got a number, identifying number called a herd number. Then also coupled with that is the number which is the calf is given, which matches then to a paper sort of passport. And that means that that calf or even the cow, whatever, is traceable anywhere in the country. You can't sell that cow without the passport. And when you sell it, you have to send off a card to say it's gone, and the new buyer has to register it to say they've got it, so that basically everyone knows where it is.
Oh, lovely! Let's not miss out on this, Rich. That is, for all you urbane dwellers, a cow.
Could call it a lot of things. I don't know.
Having a piddle.
What would you? Oh, there you go. That's the best way of saying it.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
What's the red and yellow on the tail then?
Ah, well, that's a little bit of indicator for us actually. The yellow tape tells us that she's dry, as in she's going to calve, so she has a rest period where we don't milk her. And the red tape tells us that when she's calved, not to put the milk in the tank, because you can't put cow's milk into the tank when they're first born, because it's basically colostrum, same as a woman who has a baby. It's the milk's quite full of antibodies and stuff, but you don't want to put that into for human consumption, is for the calf. So you basically keep the milk out for a few days just to sort of stop like going in with the rest of the milk. So we just used a bit of coloured tape just to give us an idea when she comes in the parlour, which we know which one's which, really.
Basic identification.
But you can see this is another thing. You see the can you see her ear? See how ripped it is on the right ear?
Yeah. Looks like she's got 3 ears.
Well, the problem with that is those tags in there, not designed by someone who knew a lot about farming, I think, because all very well and good having the big yellow tag in the ear, but what happens? They go and stick their head in a gateway or in a hedge or something. They pull back and the blooming tag gets yanked out, and that's what's happened with her. It's split the ear because of that. Because they have a metal tag. You see the little metal tag on the left-hand side as well? But that didn't ever come out, really, because that's, not going to intrusive. But you can see that yellow tag there is quite vulnerable to sort of coming out, because they're big sort of flappy things, aren't they? So, unfortunately, sometimes you do get...
Not the best design.
No, but...
Is there a space in the market, then, do you think?
Well...
Cow tag design.
Cow tag, that's... Maybe I'll get your listeners to phone in. Should we go and get some apples, then, Ben?
Let's go and get some apples, yes, indeed.
And a few pears, if we can. We climb over the gate.
Now, if you're listening to this and you're a bit disappointed with the lack of farming puns so far, it's because we got through them all when you were on the radio, didn't we?
Do quite a few. Get a move on.
You get a move on, yeah.
Utterly brilliant.
Paul, the other one, you've not sold that many books.
I know. Utterly fantastic.
You did want me to do the
oh yeah, keep them coming.
The milking, and we'll do that at a later date, all right?
I tell you what, Ben, I want you to get your hands dirty down here, mate.
This is the
introduction
to farming.
Initiation ceremony.
And then
see how you do.
And then you can put a plan together for future weeks. Because if it's all right with you, we're going to get you on a regular basis, Rich. You can talk us through the farming year, can't you? Because I'd imagine there's always something different going on.
Cold and wet in the winter and everything. Yeah, there's plenty to see here, really. We've got lots of different things going on. I mean, this is almost like before and after for you, if you like.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw the field that had nothing in it. Now, if you
look at the health and beauty in that.
I tell you what, it's a shame it's not a beautiful sunny day. It's a bit cloudy, isn't it? But when I was out here yesterday actually, and the sun was shining on that tree full of the apples, and it just looked fantastic. And there's certain things, in life, I think, that simple things in life that make you think life's really good. And I was stood here the other day, and I just looked at that apple tree, and I thought, what a lovely thing to see, And it doesn't matter how much money you've got or anything in the world. If you haven't got simple things like that in life, then,
Did you eat one?
I didn't, because I like that one over there. Let's go and try one of those.
He's ruined the story now. So is this a rescue helicopter?
Oh, well, have you phoned your wife to say you're in trouble or something?
Sal, just down here by this apple tree.
Down here. Well, what we got down here, this is one of my favourite apple tree in the field, actually. It's a Jupiter. And it's lovely red apples. Now I'm going to try one of these. If you look around, you see all these trees, actually, that's what I didn't tell you, is that you see how fenced they are? I mean, they're not left just in the field planted. We've got to fence every apple tree because the cattle will come in here and they'll rip the branches down until the trees get higher, because they've got a hell of a reach on them. And if you look at this one here, look, you can see that one of the branches, they managed to reach in and they yanked the branch down.
Naughty cows.
So it's not just a case of plonking a load of trees in the field. You've actually got to fence them and look after them and everything. And you've even got to prune them to get a good shape and everything.
So how does your sort of time break down then? How much time are you giving to the cows? How much to the orchards? How much to everything else?
Well, the orchards sort of fit in. I mean, all the conservation work we do and everything is something that we've always done. I mean, I suppose my dad was someone who started that, and got me interested in it. You know, when I was a kid, he taught me about hedge laying. And, I mean, he taught me how wonderful it is to just have a farm, really, if you like. I don't think having a farm should be just about making a living out of farming. I think, to me, it's about doing something with it to make it a better place for wildlife, and just, you know, because look at us stood here in this orchard now, look at those apples, and you think, no, you didn't have to plant this orchard. I mean, there's way more apples than we can eat if we sat down and ate apples all day for the rest of our lives. But the thing is, what a lovely place to be. And when you're sometimes here in the morning, you see the woodpeckers going across and things like that. And to me, that's what farming's about. It's about, okay, making your living out of it, but also just putting something back and being part of the environment and everything like that, really. So,
I mean, how are things at the moment financially?
Well,
because a lot of people in Bristol or Bath will think, oh, goodness me, there's no way I'd ever want to be a farmer, because you know all the old stories that it costs you more to make your milk than you actually get back.
I mean, it's funny, me and my brother were talking about this today, actually, because the price of cattle cake's just gone up again, and it's it's a lot of money, actually. It's about £190 a tonne. I mean,
cattle cake.
Yeah, this is sorry. Let me explain this.
I'm an idiot.
Cows don't eat
I've
sponge
never been
cake.
at Sea Mills, Totterdown, or Clifton if I'm feeling posh.
I tell you what, it's funny. Clifton, yeah. I tell you what, it's funny, isn't it? Because I talk about stuff, and you kind of talk in a language you think everyone knows about, and you don't realise cattle don't eat cake. They don't have a Swiss roll in the morning and a bit of coffee cake in the afternoon. What they do is they have this sort of pelleted feed, which is sort of a cereal based, you know, and not cereals like cornflakes.
It doesn't come in a bright blue box, does it?
Cocoa Pops.
So these are Jupiters then?
Yeah.
My radio show is telling us sort of Apple FM, Richard, you know?
It's changing its name, is it?
Well, I mean, every single week we're doing something about apples, but...
Yeah, well, I'll get one down and we can see what you think, okay? If I fall down, you're going to have to catch me, all right?
Yeah, what is health and safety like on the farm these days?
Well, we don't talk about that.
Is it alright if I have more than a look and have a little nibble as well?
These are probably too big for the supermarket, you see. That's the funny thing, you know, because they have to have a certain size and everything like that. And look at the colour on that. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Forget what it looks like. That's incredible, the taste, isn't it? And I like a bit of dirt on there as well. But see, that is not going to kill you, is it?
And they're really juicy, aren't they? Cool, you know, that's a proper apple, isn't it? And, I'm speaking with my mouth full of apple now, but...
So your shopping bill must be non-existent.
The trouble is we can't live on apples, can we?
You've got a few cows.
Well, don't ever eat those because they're dairy cows.
That's true. All right, so milk and apples probably wouldn't get you
milk
far.
And apples, that's an interesting diet. I'm sure that's probably like the Atkins, so we could start something new here, couldn't we? Could do our own diet, milk and apple diet.
I saw The Apprentice the other night, and some guy hadn't cooked enough bread rolls.
Oh, yeah.
And he was in a high-level meeting. They said, well, what are we supposed to do about this? We've ordered 1,000, you've come up with 16. And the guy
60?
went, 16, 16.
Oh, right.
And the guy said, I don't know, go on the Atkins diet? That'd go down well on a high-level pitch,
well, yeah.
Talking of which... I've seen you next to a cardboard cutout.
Oh, yeah. You know about that as well,
for one big supermarket.
I was doing that a while ago. That's not happening now, but I was doing it for the big one beginning with T. I don't know allowed to say the name at all, but I was the face of local choice milk, actually, funny enough. In fact, I was on Radio Bristol with that a few years ago in the morning talking about that. But they did actually make me into a cardboard cutout, which they put in 100 Tesco stores around the country.
And how was that? Quite unnerving?
I still got 2 of them at home. Still got my little boy. My little boy is a bit funny actually, because I think my little boy thinks it's quite normal for a dad to have a life-size cardboard cutout of him in the lounge, and for his dad to write a book. I don't think every dad manages it, but no, it was funny. I think they put it up especially for Halloween, actually, to scare the kids.
But again, people assume through sort of newspaper headlines that farmers and supermarkets are their enemies.
Yeah, well. It's a very difficult thing, isn't it? I mean, that local choice thing was done through... I was in a cooperative called Dairy Farmers of Britain, and they did it for Tesco's, and the whole point of it was local milk back into the local area, and it did pay a better price than we would get on the general market. Still not a great price, if I'm being honest, because the price of milk is still quite low. But it was... I mean, I loved doing it, though, to be honest, because of the fact it was so nice to... I met the customers, I did a few things in store, and it was just such a nice thing to chat to people about... You know, like I said earlier about, you know, when I was doing the book, is nice how many people have got a connection with farming or want to have a connection with farming, you know. And I have lovely conversations with people. Some of them are bonkers, mind you, you know. So people start telling their life story and you think, hang on a minute.
Some of my listeners are bonkers as well.
Yeah.
That's probably the boss saying you can't say the listeners are bonkers. I'm on a farm. Hang on a second.
You're in demand. I'm
on the farm, Sal. I'm on the farm. I can't speak now. Me and Richard are eating Jupiter apples. underneath the apple tree with two what are they? Jersey freeholds? Jersey free.
You're still in the town, aren't Jerseys? No, they're British Frisians.
British Frisians, yeah, good old British Frisians, sir.
They're scouring around. Look, they're sort of wandering under each tree looking for an apple.
Yeah, eyeing us up.
But you
I
can
mean, as
imagine
life goes for a cow, this is it, isn't it? This
pretty
is
mellow, isn't it?
Oh.
I'll tell you what, if I was going to come back as an animal, I think I'd come back as a cow, because it's a pretty nice life. You get milk twice a day. After that, it's pretty well. Let's go out in the field, have a bit of grass.
Find an apple.
Sit down with my mates. Probably, I don't know whether they have a chat, what they talk about, but
The weather.
it's not too bad, is it? You know, look at them out there, consented as anything, aren't they?
And if I was to let one of them lick my head, would it do the business?
Beyond help now, I think, Ben. How much cow lick does that need? I don't know.
How big's the whole place then?
Well, we're not a massive farm. We are kind of a cliche family farm, little small family farm actually. I mean, we're milking only 80 cows, which in this day and age is quite small. And we've got a few little bits of beef cattle and stuff like that. But we sort of tinker around, and my brother's, he's disappeared. And my dad's around, he's 76, still going strong.
So
he hasn't retired.
Your dad's a grafter, but your bro's a bit work shy, is that what I'm
No,
reading from
I
that?
can't say that. He's a grafter as well. We all are, mate. I tell you what, we were all here this morning. I bet you were still in bed, weren't you?
Well, I tried to get up early, Rich, but
Yeah.
that's a school run.
Oh, right. Well, fair play.
Pay a trip to the BRI, sign
Yeah.
Charlie off, his leg's now mended, and buy a car. So I've not been,
Oh, that's
I've not
not
been
bad
hanging
going,
around
is it?
today, have I?
I'll let you off then.
Talking of which, do you drive a tractor around
I
Thornbury?
do,
and
not
Titherington?
round Thornbury. I don't take my work home with me, if that's what you're saying. But no, we got a couple of old tractors here. We got a grey Fergie my dad bought new in 1956, a grey T20 it is, and yeah, he's one owner from new. How about that, from 1956? Not bad.
Full
is it?
service history.
Oh, well, full history. I don't know about how much servicing going on.
Do farmers kick the tyres like us townies do when they buy a new vehicle?
Yeah, we bought a new tractor only about 3 months ago, actually. Well, a new second-hand one.
What's that cost? Come on.
More than your car cost, I expect. Yeah. It was 17 grand, I'll tell you, and it was second-hand. And that's not a new one, that's quite old. But, it's like anything, all this stuff's gone. It's got very expensive. It's very difficult, actually, to be honest, on a smaller scale farm like this, because the costs have escalated, but the price you get for your milk hasn't really gone up. We're roughly probably getting the same price for our milk as we were 20 years ago, but probably about 10, 15 years ago.
So how not survive, that's the wrong word, but how do you keep moving then? It's just being clever, being crafty with all the different things you can do.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the scheme we're in, higher level stewardship's bringing some, which is the conservation scheme we're in, that's bringing some funding in for us, that pays something. We try and make the money, try and do the best we can with it, if you like, and it does. I mean, I tell you what, probably if you go around a lot of farms, you'll find farmers are very good at bodging. They'll have something and they can turn something, a piece of tin into a gate, or a piece of wood will end up being a gate post, then it'll end up being cut into something else to prop something else up. It's amazing. I tell you, farmers are the best people I know at recycling.
Do you remember your dad teaching you the sort of ways of the land then? Because sadly, my dad didn't teach me any of his mechanic skills, or you can do anything. Well, not on a farm, obviously.
Well, it's interesting because you do find. I mean, I find now that I can probably turn my hands to most things. Like in my house in Thornbury, I fitted a kitchen myself and I fitted the bathroom myself, and I'd never done either of those before.
If people are confused, Titherington's too expensive to live in.
Sorry,
isn't it?
yeah, I was saying, well, it's difficult. There's not many houses and they are expensive. And me and my brother decided when we couldn't live on the farm because my parents live in the farmhouse, we both bought houses in Thornbury. And it's a lovely place to live. And but back to what we were talking about is that you find that most farmers, I think, are the same. They can turn their hands at most things because it's just not economic to get someone out. Every time you need a bit of plumbing done or you need something done, you pay someone. It just wouldn't work. You wouldn't make any money. So you tend to find you're a bit of a jack of all trades, really. And like I said, when I was doing my house, it didn't even cross my mind that I was going to pay someone to fit it. I just thought, right, there you go. I did get a bit of help with finishing it off, but you just generally have a go at most things. But,
let's walk
I
up
just
to those
spotted a
paths.
cow just got out. It's in the wrong place at the wrong time.
There's always a drama.
Yeah, well, we'll ignore that cow that's in the wrong place at the right time and get you some pears now.
So is it a fry-up every morning for
You must be
the
joking.
Cornocks?
I'd keel over and die. I tell you what.
now that you're a dad as well?
Yeah, cool. My wife doesn't like it if I start having. To be honest, I never want to fry up in the morning unless it's a really frosty day and we have a few bacon sandwiches. Because you can imagine if you'd had a full English breakfast every morning,
But hang on, I've got a book. Charlie reads, and now Mia reads, and
all
the farmers they're there with their lovely wife brewing the tea, and there's a lovely
we have a
platter
nice
of
coffee. My mum makes cakes and all that stuff, but we don't. I haven't had a full English breakfast not since the last time I stayed in the hotel, I think.
Where you have to have it, even if you don't want it.
And then you fill your plate as much as you can and keep going back for more, and then you walk round.
And the whole day's a write-off, isn't it?
Anything.
Don't look at us cows. We're just
let's try and find you some pears then. You know, people talk about food miles, but you're talking about food inches here, aren't you?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm on up the.
You're about 8 foot up there.
Yeah,
now,
I'm on
maybe
step
9.
ladders. I'm picking a conference pear off the tree. I'm passing it down to you.
That's a 5'10".
That's not bad, is it? You know, that hasn't been to anywhere to be shrink wrapped or.
And it really has got taste.
Yeah,
and like, I've got to say that
the rain are going to fall.
It wasn't the supermarket beginning with T. It was the one beginning with S. The bag that I've got in the fridge at the moment, they don't taste of anything.
That's the things that I like, is the fact that you can come out here and you can get yourself. There you go. I've got 3 pears now. If I went down to a supermarket, I'd probably have to pay 50p for those.
Yeah.
And look, I've got a few £100 worth on this tree if we wanted to start picking them. But
and a recyclable cardboard tray will be sat outside your house for a few days.
You know. So anyway, I got some of these for your kids, Ben. I think you better take some home.
That's quite nice.
Or for the office.
And a bag as well.
Yeah,
you are self-sufficient, aren't you?
Look at this. Yeah, we don't make our own bags though, I'm afraid.
I'm not taking anything back to the office, Richard. Come on.
Yeah. How many do you want? I'm out of reach here.
Whatever's easiest to reach, to be honest.
Right. That's proper job, as they say in Bristol.
The reason, yeah, see, I like that. The reason we love you, Rich, because you say you'll talk about anything, really.
Yeah.
And you said mention a hedge, and you talk for 2 hours about a hedge.
Yeah. You know.
It's what Britain's about.
No, hedges. I mean, this is something that you wouldn't ever know about unless someone told you. Okay, for instance, you see this hedge here, right? That hedge there hasn't been cut for 2 years, and what we do here as part of our conservation scheme is we manage the hedges for wildlife, and by that, what I do is most people trim their hedges every year with a hedge trimmer. You know, and you probably see them tractor driving along with a sort of flail thing on it, and it just takes the top off, keeps them down low. Because if you let them grow up, they just end up as a row of trees and they're not stock proof. And the whole point of the hedges around this field are to keep the stock in and, you know, stop them getting out. So what we do to enhance them for particularly birds is by cutting them every 2 years instead of every year. That allows extra growth on the hedge, which then gets covered in, you know, grows the rose hips and the blackberries and the elderberries and stuff, which are all the birds feed. So, and that will sort of see them through the winter, if you like. And also, you're creating a bigger area for nesting habitats. And that's something that I didn't really realise until I started getting into the conservation scheme thing myself. You know, I always trim them every year because it's easy. And what we do is we rotate it. So we do 1 year, do half the farm 1 year and half the farm the next year. But I can see the difference. If you walk around, I mean, we haven't got time to walk all the way around showing you all the fields and hedges.
We'll get round every single metre of this place.
Let's hope so, Ben.
Over the years, we might be 62 apiece, but we'll be there. Talking about how good it used to be.
How bad is that? We'll be probably old codgers walking around here, bent over.
I'll still be on drive. It's all right. It'll still be the same program.
Yeah.
Maybe a few tweaks here and there, but
you won't remember your name. It'll be drive by
with
It's some thingy here from Drive Time. You ought to come back for this at Christmas time. There's something for your missus here. Let's go and have a look.
Something for the missus. What, another freebie is this, Rich?
Wow,
is it? Is this going to save me on cosmetics at Christmas time?
Don't know what. Well, I don't know what it might. How many kids you got, Ben?
3 now.
Well, this might get you baby number 4 if you're not
No, that's
careful.
it. No, I don't think that's happening.
Well, you say that, but I got enough here of something that'll get you get you going.
Oh, I'm so ungamely over a fence. Mistletoe.
What do you think of that then? A little bit of mistletoe.
Look at that.
I bet not many people have seen that much mistletoe in one place.
Don't get any ideas.
2 men underneath a load of mistletoe with a microphone.
We're getting on, but not that well.
No.
Well, that's it. I mean, they'll be switching on the lights in Thornbury when?
Oh, I don't know. November the 14th?
We have a stall.
16th.
We have a stall
I'm
flogging
doing another
all
book
this?
signing actually, November the 16th in Thornbury.
Such a flagrant publicist.
But look at this. You see, this isn't quite ripe yet. This is a funny thing. You don't realise that mistletoe actually ripens. Can you see the berries are still quite green?
Yeah, look like
now,
tiny
if
grapes.
you'd been down here a month ago, those would have been really green. And they're gradually getting whiter and whiter. I mean, it's obviously perfect timing for Christmas, in the fact that by Christmas time they'll all be white, and that'll look amazing. But look at that.
There's hundreds of pounds worth.
There is a lot
Rich.
there, actually, isn't it?
Do you look at it like that? You know, you were giving it all the big. Appreciating the world around you.
Me and my brother had come down and get a little bit for ourselves, take home, keep the wives happy, and then we leave it really. Because I mean, what's the point in picking it all? I mean, okay, you could sell it, I suppose, but I don't, we're not into the sort of market gardening or going out there and flogging stuff. We just let it grow, really. But I mean, and also, if I pick that, what would you look at? Well, doesn't it look great? Even just look above your head. It's everywhere, isn't it? I mean,
Makes me look quite dizzy.
look at that. Look, just there. How about that? It's in my book, actually, that picture, because I just... You don't get mistletoe on a tree like that so often, really. You usually get little bunches, but that is incredible.
What are the neighbours like, by the way?
All right, there's another farmer next door.
I think that's probably the one I pulled into, thinking it was your farm.
See the horses there.
Is that Millhouse Farm?
That's it, Millhouse Farm. Yeah, he's an intensive arable farmer there, actually.
Spuds and things.
No, arable as in
arable.
Arable is sort of cereals.
Cereals.
You are a Tony, aren't you? Eh? God.
I did warn you.
I tell you what, he grows oranges out there, and you should see his melons.
They olives.
Olives. His melons are worth seeing, though. No,
I don't mind it, Nicky. I won't edit this piece out. I'll keep it in, just to prove to you.
No, he used to be a dairy farmer. He got out of dairy farming, and now he's into arable. And you can just see. Can you see the sort of through the other side of the hedge there? It's sort of lighter green.
Yeah.
And that's the cereal crop just coming up. That'll probably be wheat, but he does grow oilseed rape as well. Interesting enough, when you see
bright yellow
you see the yellow fields.
See?
Okay, you're not bad. Get in there, yeah. I thought you might say it's primroses or something. No,
St. John's wort.
He grows oilseed rape, and it's actually for biofuel.
Okay.
They harvest it, and the oil's used for biofuel.
Oh, crikey!
Yeah.
We could sit down and talk for 5 hours about the good and bad of that, couldn't we?
Yeah. Well, it's difficult, isn't it? If you grow biofuel for driving cars around, you're not growing anything for anyone to eat, are you? And there's no more fields, no more land in this world.
It's a vicious cycle.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because if we all convert it to biofuel, you've still got to grow the food for the growing population. I don't know how you can balance it, really. What are they all running up there for? Oh, look. That cow's still waiting up there.
Is he trying to get back in?
That's one with a calf. She wants to go back to a calf. Come on, Ben.
Let's go and save the day.
We'll go and do our mother in then, shall we? We've got to guide us back to her calf. Basically, what happens on a dairy farm like ours is all summer they're left outside, okay? And they go outside and graze the grass. The grass grows readily. But what you'll find is, it's a bit like Hollywood, isn't it? If they've got a garden, they don't have to mow the lawn in the winter. And for a farming point of view, it's the same sort of principle. The grass isn't growing in the fields, so then you've got to feed the cattle in the winter to keep them going. So what you do is, certainly in this country, you bring them inside for the winter. I mean, in some places like New Zealand, they can keep them out all year round because they've got the climate for it. But there you go. But
hello.
We keep them in the winter.
He doesn't like me.
That should be right. We're going to open that gate up and she'll go through there. What she's doing, we let her out in the daytime. She comes back to her calf at night, and she's looking for it. We're in a roundabout way. We've got to take her right down the bottom yard where we've just been. Remember we saw that shed and it had 3 calves in it and 1 cow?
Where we were discussing passports, yeah.
Yeah. 3 calves and 2 cows, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, now that's the mum of the other one. So you hold that.
See, I might not be pulling the other one, but I am actually helping Richard on a farm job here. This is a real piece of farm work.
Let's just hope it all goes okay. Right, I'll go and drive her back up. She'll go through that gate and back down.
The only gates I open are at my daughter's nursery, if I remember the padlock number. So number 22. I was assuming you don't all call them names.
It's on the back there, look.
Your son probably calls them names, though, doesn't he?
He's got all sorts of names.
Once he can actually talk
Daddy
a bit better.
Cows, Daddy moo. And it's really funny when he sees a little bit of hay or something. He goes, "Cow's tea, cow's tea." Oh, he loves it up here. Actually,
how lucky is he, though? It's just incredible.
He loves it. It's something I didn't realise how good it is to have a farm until you've got kids, and then you think, I think it's lovely to be able to give them the opportunity to come up and see it.
Yeah, you think how many rubbishy plastic toys are sort of farm-based, you know? And, well, yeah, you've got the real thing, like your 17 grand Massey Ferguson there. That's it. In you go, 22.
He knows where it's going, though. He'll be down there waiting at the gate. Look, see?
Look at that.
She's off wandering down to see her little baby.
Well trained.
Yeah.
It's like my wife's son. Just want a bit of time away, you know?
That's it. She wants time out. She's gone out into the fields and had a bit of grass, and then she says, "Right, better go back and see how the kids are doing."
Humans meet other mums for cappuccinos in coffee bars, don't they? And
Grassacino, she has. Here we go.
What does she weigh, Rich? I'm struck by the size.
Cow, 500, 600 kilograms. Put it this way, you don't want them stood on your foot.
My experience of vet bills, horrendous. Is it the same for farmers?
They're big, yeah. I mean, But then it's professional fees, isn't it? I mean, I know to have a vet on the farm about £1.70 a minute. How about that? Put it this way: when they turn up, you don't chat until they finish writing their ticket, and then you can have a chat.
What was it? All creatures great and small. It's not quite as romantic as that.
No, there's some really good vets though. We've got actually, and one of the guys he came here. We were doing a TB test yesterday. Actually, that's another thing we can talk about another time. But he came out. He's been coming here about 30, 40 years. And it's nice to have that continuation on with people. It's surprising how many people are involved with farming that aren't actually on the farm all the time. Because you sort of drive up here and think that's just us.
Yeah.
But there's a whole network of people behind it, if you like, that are, only coming here every now and then, but they're all part of something. It's a bigger picture, really. Well, I guess it's like your radio program, isn't it? It's not just you on.
Well, it's just me, but cutbacks. Of
yeah.
It will just be.
Is it going to be in your garage soon then? Is it live from Ben's garage?
My garage? I've got to move to Thornbury before I get a garage, Rich.
Of course, I forgot.
You can't have a garage in Totterdown.
Yeah, of course. You
can't swing a cat in Totterdown.
Oh, you're going to not know yourself with having a garage then.
Listen, plan all the hard, laborious tasks for next time, all right?
Yeah, right. Get your feet dirty.
It was just getting my wellies on this time, and then we can step it up a notch in 6 or 7 weeks.
There's so much we can get you to do, mate.
We'll be back just before Christmas.
Yeah, that'd be lovely.
It's been a pleasure.
See us in the cold.
Cheers for the pears.
All right.
Anything else going, you know where I am.